Hi, I'm Nathan Gake and I'm playing Sherlock Holmes.
My name is Samuel Acosta and I play Dr. John Watson.
Hi, I'm Allie Heinzman and I'm playing Alice Faulkner.
I'm Kinley Calhoun and I'm playing Professor Moriarty.
One word to describe Sherlock would be brilliant.
Supportive.
Fiery.
Sinister.
Come see us in Sherlock Holmes and the Letters from Bohemia.
January 4th
And 5th.
At Zionsville Fellowship Church.
I joined the drama club just to hang out with friends and just enjoy friendship and to take out the Friday morning from school and just to have fun.
I wanted to do an acting program, and I also like the community that the drama club is. I wanted to get to know more people throughout my high school career.
My parents made me do it initially, but now I'm actually loving it a lot.
My favorite part about drama club is acting with all of my friends. It's one of my favorite hobbies and I love hanging out with the people here and the fellowshipping that we get to do. It's really just a great group of kids.
My favorite part of drama club is getting to see my friends every Friday and getting more experience in acting.
My favorite part of drama club is probably seeing the show come together through the weeks, people adapting their characters, and it really coming to life.
Yeah, right.
I'm a super hobo.
Are we gonna put some bloopers now?
One word to describe Sherlock would be fabulous.
Should I say it in a British accent?
5 days until the show. Why the British accent, you idiot?
Only 4 days left till the show.
And then there was Ben.
Never
This is
mind.
Something wacky.
Johnny Depp from Pirates of the Caribbean. Dun 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 dun. I'm done now.
Stop.
Welcome to the Master Study Drama Club performance of Sherlock Holmes. We would please ask that you silence your mobile telephone devices.
Management not responsible for any uncouth ticket holders sitting next to you.
It will be necessary to close the curtain between Act 1 and Act 2.
Owing to the great length of the play, there will be no farce.
Feel free to appreciate our tasteful costumes.
Please do not spit out your chewing gum. Swallow it.
Applause at suitable moments is encouraged.
We do hope you enjoy the show.
The time, the 1800s. The place, London, England. The streets are filled with the sounds of peddlers selling their wares. The air is thick with fog and freedom of speech. There could be no better setting for one of the greatest stories of all time.
Oi, why'd you say that?
I was merely telling the truth.
Who are you anyway?
Well, considering you are all figments of my imagination, I do believe you should know already.
But we're only here to sell the papes. Yeah, sorry, we forgot. Who are you again?
I am Sir Arthur Conan Doyle.
Oh, the one who writes all them stories? I thought that was Dr. Watson.
Yes, I am the one who writes all them stories. Now that that is over with, we should tell the audience what's about to happen. We wouldn't want them to be confused.
This particular story begins with a pair of twisted sisters, Madge and Maud Larrabee, who are plotting to steal old love letters from a young woman, Miss Alice Faulkner.
The letters were written to Alice's sister, Lillian, from the Prince Bohemia, who is now engaged to someone else.
The sisters intend to blackmail the prince with this sensitive information. Alice, however, will not give up so easily.
But don't forget, this is 1890s London, and there's a brilliant sleuth on the loose.
Sherlock Holmes and his companion, Dr. John Watson, are soon on to the Larrabees, threatening their plans.
So they turn to the one person in town who can match Sherlock's intelligence, criminal mastermind Professor Moriarty.
Moriarty and her gang of petty thieves, match girls, flower women, suffragettes, and the like, set a trap for Holmes to keep him from the case.
But can anyone really stop the famous Sherlock Holmes?
What's Professor Moriarty's evil plan?
Will Alice be able to keep the letters safe, or will there be a scandal in Bohemia?
I do like how the characters are shaping up. I'm excited to see how this one turns out.
Detective Inspector Lenstall at your service.
Ah, yes, my scatterbrained detective.
I heard there's an evil plan afoot.
Not quite yet, good fellow. That happens later.
Oh, right, well, everybody go about your business. Nothing to see here. Oh, already going.
Come along, old chap. We've got a story to tell. So, ladies and gentlemen, I do hope you will, how shall I say it? Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Roy waiting for Prince Bohemia! Read all about it! Read all about it!
Here, lad, let's have a paper here.
Right away, Governor.
Police suspect, evil genius awoke. Valuable jewelry stolen from Tower of Holland. If you news, if you news.
Foreman, what are you doing in the window?
I was acquiring the evening paper for your pleasure, ma'am.
You may read the paper below stairs when I am finished, not before.
Oh, but there's something here that will interest you.
Murder in Whitechapel, gang war, jewels stolen from the Tower of London.
The article about the royal wedding, second column.
Royal wedding for Prince of Bohemia. Undoubtedly, you've heard my sister and I discuss private matters regarding the prince.
Beg pardon, madam, I meant no offense. I know my place.
Do you? I should hope you give up any idea of blackmail. I have some connections at Scotland Yard that would be very pleased to hear I have a wanted forger in my employ.
Please, Miss Larrabee, I told you that in the strictest of confidence.
It was for your criminal past that I hired you. I needed someone who could keep their mouth shut.
Blackmail? Huh. Nothing was further from my mind.
I should hope so, for your sake.
Oh, the parlor maid wishes to give notice.
I pay her well.
Certain things in the house distress poor Teresa.
I'll speak to the girl.
Yes, ma'am.
His Royal Highness Prince Karl von Stolberg of Bohemia to wed Her Royal Highness Princess Alexandria Romanov of Russia.
I found Sid. He'll be along in a moment.
Read this, second column.
So he's going to marry a Romanov, is he?
This is good for us. The better the title, the higher the price.
Not unless we get those letters.
We'll get them, never you worry.
Foreman said you wanted to see me, ma'am.
Yes, dear. What is this nonsense about you wanting to give notice?
I just don't like the way you treat your friend.
Oh, you misunderstand poor Teresa. She's ill, not right in the head.
If we're harsh with her, it's only because we're thinking of her own good.
You mean she's demented?
Quite.
That does make a difference.
Doesn't it? Run along now and let's hear no more talk of your giving notice.
Yes, ma'am.
She's a silly thing. Might be wise to let her go.
And risk raising suspicion? Never.
Sid Prince here.
In the drawing room, Sid.
And let myself in. The door was locked and I couldn't resist the temptation to pick it. So, what's the game?
There's a Miss Alice Faulkner staying with us.
A guest, you might say.
We met her a few weeks ago. She was despondent. Seems her sister, poor girl, drowned herself.
Tisk tisk.
She loved a man who could never marry a commoner.
A title gentleman, eh?
A prince.
Like me.
Nothing like you.
The prince wrote many love letters,
Letters that could cause considerable embarrassment if they were to fall into the wrong hands.
He wants the letters back, eh?
We're dealing with an insurance company now. They're acting as a go-between for the prince.
And them letters on here, right?
When Alice first came here, she trusted us. As soon as she began to have her doubts, she had the locks changed on our safe. When we found out, we couldn't frighten or starve her into opening the thing.
Don't worry. Sid Prince will get it open in a jiffy. I could do this blindfolded.
Never mind congratulating yourself, just do the job.
Voila!
Empty?
Empty? Bless me. Not even a speck of dust.
She'll pay for it. Get her.
I'll twist the truth out of her.
Look here, Madge. I don't go for no rough stuff, if you know what I mean.
You think I've come this close to a fortune just to let it slip away?
Seems to me the girl's too smart for you.
She'll talk.
Beg pardon, Miss Larrabee.
Yes?
I encountered two gentlemen in the garden. They've gone round to the front.
What gentleman?
One of them gave me his card.
I don't know the gentleman.
Who's the bloke?
Sherlock Holmes.
I'm getting out of here.
What's the matter?
Don't you know who he is?
Probably a representative from the insurance company.
He's a private investigator. He's a devil, that Holmes. I don't want to see him. He put me behind bars 2 years ago.
Keep calm. We have nothing to worry about.
I'll hide.
Shall I admit the gentleman?
Of course. Find out what he wants. I'll be upstairs.
Yes, ma'am. Please come into the drawing room, gentlemen.
Thank you. Sherlock, did you hear that scream? I thought this was for the insurance company.
Please, have a seat, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Whom did you wish to see, Mr. Holmes? I am correct in assuming that it was you who wished to conduct business?
Yes, thank you. Take my card to Miss Alice Faulkner, would you please?
Oh, I'm sorry, sir, but Miss Faulkner doesn't see anyone. She's very ill.
I would prefer to hear that from Miss Faulkner herself.
As you wish, sir.
Sherlock, what are they doing with an open safe in the middle of the room?
Fresh fingerprints, not more than a few moments cold. Particles of coal dust clinging to the dial.
Good heavens! Who are you?
No need for alarm, miss. My name is Holmes, Sherlock Holmes. This is my assistant, Dr. John Watson.
How do you do?
Not the Sherlock Holmes, the famous young detective? Oh, Dr. Watson, I'm such a fan of yours. The way you write is truly gripping.
Well, thank you.
I believe my favorite story is the case of the barrel cornet.
Yes, I like that one very much. It took a great amount of time
I
writing it.
hate to interrupt this enthralling discussion. Who has been in this safe?
Oh, it's safe. I wonder what they did with that lovely tablecloth. I had no idea there was a safe underneath.
There is only one man in London who rooms in a hotel favored by Coleman, who is also a master at safe cracking. Sid Prince.
Sid Prince. I've never heard of him.
Sid Prince? I thought he was in prison.
He was not there long enough. I suspect he is near. Miss, would you please fetch for him?
Oh, I will try, sir. I get to assist the Sherlock Holmes.
Mr. Holmes?
Miss Faulkner?
I am in poor health, Mr. Holmes.
May I offer my assistance? I am a medical doctor. John Watson's my name.
No, that will not be necessary. I have my own private attending physician.
Ah. You are Miss Alice Faulkner?
I am in poor health, Mr. Holmes. Please be brief.
Miss Faulkner, you are dealing with a reputable insurance firm regarding certain letters.
That is my business, Mr. Holmes.
Incorrect, it is mine. The insurance firm has engaged my services.
You wish to set a price?
I wish to speak with Miss Alice Faulkner.
And so you are.
Do not test my patience, Madge Larrabee. I know you and your sister are keeping Miss Faulkner hostage here, and unless you produce her at once, I will inform the police. I happen to know that the French authorities are quite anxious to learn of your whereabouts.
Maud! Maud, bring her in here! Hurry! You are a clever man, Mr. Holmes.
Clever? Oh no, I'm not clever. I am brilliant. And the sooner the criminal class realizes this, the sooner London will sleep in peace.
Let go of me, you she-devil.
Over there with her?
Who's that?
Sherlock Holmes, a detective. He's with the insurance people.
Do not reach for your pistol, Maud Larrabee. That would be a foolish gesture.
Pistol? I was reaching for my handkerchief.
What? You've been mistreating this poor girl. There are marks on her wrist. Come here, my dear.
I wouldn't tell them anything if I were you, Alice. All thereafter are your precious letters.
Do you wish to lodge a complaint against these people?
I will handle this matter in my own way.
I implore you, Miss Faulkner, if you release the contents of your letters, there's no telling what damage you will cause.
Damage? What do I care for damage? The only thing I'm interested in is money.
The insurance people will pay you a fair price.
I'm not interested in a fair price. You may tell your employers the letters will cost them thousands and thousands of pounds.
May I see the letters?
You'll have to find them first.
Quick, there's a fire below stairs. Smoke coming out of the kitchen window.
Fire!
Where's Foreman?
Why don't you help them?
Because I have the matter under control. When a woman thinks her house is on fire, her instinct is to rush to the thing which she values most. A married woman grabs at her baby. An unmarried one reaches for her jewelry, or in this case, letters.
I am undone.
My only wish is to help you, Miss Faulkner. You are in the clutches of two villainous criminals.
You're clever.
Brilliant.
You have the letters. You have the letters. You've won.
I have the letters, true, but I have not won.
It was only a grease fire.
Foreman started it, tipped over a pot of lard.
I cannot take these letters, Miss Faulkner, unless you turn them over voluntarily.
Why not?
That would be stealing.
You cannot have the letters.
In that case,
You're mad!
I'm not happy with Miss Faulkner's decision, if that's what you mean. I would advise you to leave this house at once.
I'm not afraid of them any longer, Mr. Holmes. If they attempt to seize these letters, I shall destroy them. Tear them into shreds, eat them, burn them, but destroy them I shall. There is no profit in ashes.
You are a remarkable young woman, Miss Faulkner.
I shall go to my room. Good day.
I trust you two will not take this matter lightly. If any harm should come to Miss Faulkner, I will hold the two of you personally responsible. You have been warned. No need to show us to the door. We will find our own way out.
Have a good day.
Just when everything was going so well.
What are we going to do?
All clear.
Not with Holmes onto us.
What about the letters?
He didn't get them.
I say we should go upstairs and take the letters by force.
What good would that do us with Holmes on the scent? Besides, you heard her, she'll destroy them, and not a penny for our troubles.
What's better than sitting here and doing nothing?
Since when are you one for bright ideas?
Brighter than yours.
Ladies. If Holmes is on the case and you need your letters back, there's only one person you need to see.
Who's that?
Moriarty, of course.
Moriarty.
Professor Moriarty. The queen of crime. She hates Sherlock Holmes with the right passion. She'll get the letters back for you and stop that snooper in his tracks.
Sounds good.
Where to?
Where else? The professor's.
Buy a flower, only a penny. Who wants one? Buy a flower, only a penny. Who wants one?
Give women the vote. Vote for women. Vote for women. Give women the vote.
I've been with Scotland Yard for over 20 years and I've seen many things. But I have never seen anything that would let me believe letting women have the vote would be a good idea. My own wife has a hard enough time deciding what to wear each morning. A vote?
Buy a flower, only a penny. Who wants one? Hi there, Mr. Policeman. You'll be wanting a flower to take back to your pretty wife.
No thank you, good woman. Paddle your flowers elsewhere and don't pick up these suffragettes' crazy ideas.
Citizens of London, the time has come for women to take their rightful place in the scheme of things. For too long have men ruled the universe, with no thought of sharing power with their wives, sweethearts, sisters, daughters, mothers, and mothers-in-law. Is this right?
No!
Is this fair?
No!
Is this noble?
No!
Sometimes, maybe.
Quiet!
I thought you asked for me opinion. Buy a flower, dearie, only a penny.
Well, I say the time has come for suffragettes to march on the House of Lords.
Yeah!
The Commons.
Yeah!
The Admiralty.
Yeah!
And all other bastions of male supremacy.
Yeah! Bravo!
We'll chain ourselves to the gates of Government House. We'll demand that Queen Victoria declare a national holiday to commemorate the injustices done to women by unequal laws and unjust men.
Good cheer here! Bravo! Bravo!
And if all else fails, we'll refuse to serve tea.
Bravo! Here, here! Yeah!
What rubbish! You women ought to be locked up.
What's the trouble here?
It is this infernal suffragists making nonsense of themselves in public streets, huh?
Well, it's the police they're talking to now. Move along, no trouble, I say. Move along, no trouble. No trouble.
Vote for women! Vote for women! Give women the vote!
There, sir. Things are splendid, so is noise.
I trust you, officer, but it is not safe to walk in London anymore.
No need to fear. I'm here to protect honest citizens.
Oh no!
What's wrong?
My necklace! Someone has stolen my necklace!
My wallet. My wallet is gone.
Quick, it must have been the suffragettes. Quick, go down to the next corner and get help. I'll go after them women. Stop there! Stop there!
I understand our contact in the Tottenham area has been holding out on us again.
His collections from your protective society have fallen off by 2%.
And I suspect that 2% has ended up in our contact's pocket. I think we can dispense with his future services. Arrange for his body to be found in a mail sack somewhere north of Scotland.
Yes, Professor.
And what about the informant who was working undercover with the Scotland Yard on the jewel heist?
Disposed of in the usual manner. There will be no trace.
As usual.
One of the dock workers in your employ was overheard mentioning that he was a close friend of Professor Moriarty.
Professor Moriarty has no friends, and Professor Moriarty is a friend to no one. See that he is attended to. Have his disappearance noticed. Have it spoken of. Have the workers on the docks wonder whatever became of their mate. What they conjure up in their imaginations will be far worse than the truth.
You're a master of psychology, Professor.
Anything else?
3 of your men come up for trial on Thursday next.
Ah, yes. Thanks to young Sherlock Holmes.
He'll be the Crown's star witness.
Holmes has interfered with my plans once too often. I do not wish him to testify.
Will you deal with him in the usual way?
You surprise me, my dear Joan. You see, Sherlock Holmes is not a usual human being. Therefore, he cannot be dealt with in the usual manner. Commence. It's Mrs. Bassett. Admit her.
The professor will see you, Mrs. Bassett.
Report.
A respectable haul from various suffragette meetings held throughout the city.
Clarify respectable. Not as good as our haul from the Tower of London.
Professor, a Tower of London job comes along once in a lifetime.
Well, perhaps next time I can arrange to steal the tower. Anyone out there?
Sid Prince.
Who?
Sid Prince, a safecracker. Use him to open the vault at the stock exchange.
I recall.
Any assignment for this evening, Professor?
I shall get word to you. It may be that I will require your special talents.
Oh?
It will depend on how my conversation with a certain private investigator concludes. Any trouble with the police?
My suffragettes are well trained, Professor. Whenever it looks as if the jig is up, we stage a minor riot, and when it's over, the onlookers have been relieved of their wallets, baubles, and beads.
If I had used you for previous assignments, 3 of my best men wouldn't be standing in the dock with Sherlock Holmes breathing down their neck.
But, Professor, if women get the vote, it will be the end of our masquerade.
Mrs. Bassett, I do not intend to see so valuable a gang as our suffragettes lose their cover. To this end, I am working diligently to see that women do not receive the vote.
I understand.
Admit Sid, you'll receive your cut in the usual manner.
Always a pleasure talking with you, Professor.
Remember me, Professor?
You left traces of coal dust on the vault at the stock exchange.
I did.
What do you want?
I came across something that might interest you.
Commence.
Seems these sisters...
Names?
Madge and Maud Larrabee.
Ah, they're wanted by the French police.
Blimey, Professor, is there anything you don't know?
I don't know what you've come across that might interest me.
See, they met a young woman who has letters that put the Prince of Bohemia in a very awkward way.
The Prince of Bohemia? Where are the Larrabees now?
Waiting.
You brought them here. Here to my secret underground office.
I managed for the Larrabees.
I hope so, Sid Prince. Otherwise, the Thames River will have an overnight guest. Joan? Admit the Larrabees.
Yes, Professor.
You know, Professor, I wouldn't do anything to hurt you. You can trust Sid Prince.
I trust no one. That is why I will never be defeated. Now, ladies, what is this business you have with the Prince of Bohemia?
I'm not sure as we want to tell you. After all, this is our game, not yours.
Is it?
I'm not even certain I want to be here.
Silence.
Here now, I do not like to be talked to like that.
Obviously, you do not understand to whom you are speaking.
Don't anger the Professor.
I'm not afraid of her.
Well, you'd better be, Miss Larrabee. Otherwise, you won't live to see another day. I have my methods.
Careful.
As if she'll actually do anything.
We have no idea what she's capable of.
I know what we're capable of.
Sit down, ladies.
I was telling the Professor about the Prince of Bohemia.
Can you help us?
Who is the young woman in the case?
Alice Faulkner. Stubborn. Her sister died in despair over the prince.
But not before the prince wrote many love letters.
We planned to sell them to the insurance company.
Everything was going fine until all of a sudden, like they called in Sherlock Holmes.
That name again. Where are the letters now?
Alice has them on her person. She threatens to destroy them if we make a move.
But you know the contents of each letter?
Of course.
And you could make forgeries?
We have in our employ an extremely clever forger.
The foreman by name.
And Holmes has seen the letters.
Only the small packet he returned to Alice. He didn't have time to open the envelope.
Tie the forgeries up so they look exactly like the packet Holmes held in his hand.
But why, Professor?
I have my methods. I shall require that package at 11 tonight.
We'll have it ready.
I will also require a little assistance from you both.
You haven't said anything about the business arrangements.
You will have an opportunity tonight to sell the package to Holmes for a good round sum. You will take 100% of the profit, and I, nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing?
Nothing.
Nothing except the package of real letters.
I should hope you're not thinking of selling them. I have a connection at Scotland Yard that would be very pleased to hear about the location of your little lair.
Don't anger the Professor, I tell you.
You were, ladies, I believe, acquainted with one Alf Waxman, a well-known blackmailer.
We know old Alf, sure.
We all do.
Seen him around lately?
Now that you mention it, no.
And you won't be seeing him. He displeased me.
We won't cross you, Professor.
I should trust not. I would hate to see either of you in mourner's clothes.
You won't have any trouble from us, Professor. We'll get what we can from Holmes.
And the real letters?
The disposition of the real letters will be no concern of yours.
Yes, ma'am.
Your interview is over. Joan, I bid you good morning.
I was wondering, Professor, if you might have a job for your good old Sid Prince.
The interview is over.
Yes, Professor. Thank you, Professor. Lovely weather we're having.
The Prince of Bohemia. Splendid. Excellent. Capital. Professor Moriarty here. Bring my cab round front. I journey to Baker Street.
To Sherlock Holmes.
Baker Street is his residence, I believe.
And you will go there yourself?
I will go there myself. I shall offer him peace or death. Either way, Moriarty wins.
You're a marvel, Professor. A human marvel.
London fog, invigorating. Good for the circulation.
You're speaking to me, sir?
What? Who? Oh, no, my good woman. I was merely commenting on the helpful benefits of London fog. It's underrated. For some maladies, it can be most beneficial.
Bless me, sir. You talk like an educated man.
Well, I am a doctor after all. Watson's my name.
Not the famous Dr. Watson, the one that writes about Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
Yes, the very same.
I'm a great fan of yours, Dr. Watson.
You don't say.
Of course, I can't read myself, but I have a friend who can pronounce all the words.
Well, I'm glad to hear it.
You and your Mr. Holmes do have weird adventures. I never have gotten over the case of the speckled band.
Like that one, did you?
Positively creepy it was. Scared me more than the case of the empty house, and I didn't think I could be more scared than that.
Well, I'm always happy to meet a loyal reader.
No charge for you, Dr. Watson. It's a pleasure.
Well, thank you very much. That's most kind.
Hello, Governor. Care to buy a match? Got all kinds.
Bless me. Baker Street's becoming a gypsy bazaar.
I've got matches from Sweden, India, Cuba. Person can never have enough matches.
You talk about them like they're the staff of life. There you go. That should keep you quiet.
Thank you, Governor.
Person can never have enough matches. Foolish child.
Ah, good sir, might I have a word with you? I couldn't help but overhear that you work with Sherlock Holmes. The Sherlock Holmes, is that right?
Yes,
Yes, well, I was wondering what kind of rates he charges for the work he does. I am thinking I might have a case that would interest him.
Well, Mr. Holmes accepts work on a case-by-case basis, mostly based upon its merits, so you will have to talk to him yourself.
Ah, well, there's much to consider. Thank you for your time.
Good day.
Look sharp. I've kept an eye on the house, watched everyone coming in and everyone going out.
The professor is counting on us. Cover all the alleyways into Baker Street. She may require our assistance.
I can deploy the policeman on the corner.
Good. Don't attract any undue attention. Be ready when and if needed.
Buy a flower, only a penny. Who wants one?
Matches, matches, get your matches!
Must you yell, old fellow? I'm trying to concentrate on my music.
Do keep it down, Holmes. I can hear your strings screeching from halfway up the block.
You should develop an ear for music.
I have an ear for music. It's your playing that makes me wish I were deaf.
Surely my playing hasn't put you in this agitated state.
It's the neighborhood.
Baker Street is a perfectly respectable neighborhood, almost too respectable for my tastes.
Too respectable?
I know, my dear Watson, you share my love of all that is bizarre, and outside the humdrum routine of everyday life. Baker Street hardly qualifies. It's comfortable but routine.
You wouldn't think so if you'd run to the gauntlet I just did. Match sellers, ribbon hawkers, suffragettes, pushcart peddlers. It's busier than the fish market at dawn.
Baker Street is not the best area for commerce. Therefore, I suspect your match sellers, ribbon hawkers, suffragettes, and pushcart peddlers are not as they seem.
You're talking in riddles again, Sherlock.
I see you visited Lally's bookstore and were unable to secure your weekly copy of the London Review.
How in the world did you deduce that?
These traces of red clay on your shoe. The workmen are excavating in front of Lally's, and that particular shade can only be found in that one locale. Also, the clay has not yet had time to dry.
Amazing.
Since the London Review is the only reason you visit Lally's, and it's a large, hardbound periodical that can't fit into your medical bag, I can only deduce they were sold out.
You astonish me, Holmes.
Elementary, my dear Watson.
Oh, I met a fan, a flower woman down the street. A pleasant sort. A great admirer of your exploits and my literary talents.
Sherlock?
Do come in, Mrs. Hudson.
Sherlock, this room is a mess. When was the last time you tidied up your rooms? I know. You have been on the prowl, chasing after clues for another case, too busy to pick up after yourself. Let me see your icebox at once. I bet you haven't had a decent meal in ages. You certainly haven't come to me.
Mrs. Hudson, I appreciate your ministrations, but I assume you come with information for me?
Oh, there's a gentleman downstairs to see you, but really, Sherlock, if this is your place of business, then you must keep it clean. And you must take care of yourself, my dear boy. I'll not have a tenant in as good as health as you, wasting away to nothing under my watch. Such a thing.
Mrs. Hudson, would the gentleman in question be Inspector Lestrade of Scotland Yard?
How did you know that?
It is of no importance. Please show the lady and gentleman in.
Right away, Sherlock. Oh, I do hate to mention it, but some of the neighbors are complaining about your target practice. I do wish you wouldn't use my rooms for that sort of thing. It ruins the wallpaper.
Quite right, Mrs. Hudson, quite right. Lestrade and some woman.
Lestrade is merely acting as a police escort. The gentleman in question is none other than the Prince of Bohemia himself, accompanied by Lady Edwina Hunter, a distant relative of his.
But how did you know it was them?
I looked out my bedroom window as they were getting out of their carriage. Delighted to see you again, Lady Edwina. My colleague, Dr. John Watson.
Dr. Watson?
Delighted.
This is...
Shh! Softly. The walls may have ears. Pray, be seated.
We have come directly from the insurance company. They tell us you've taken complete charge.
That is correct.
What progress have you made, Mr. Holmes?
Minimal.
That is hardly encouraging, considering your reputation. You disappoint me.
Please, sir, we'll pay you any sum.
My charges are upon a fixed scale. I do not change them until I remit them altogether.
But, Mr. Holmes, we are desperate.
Your Highness, did you love the sister of Miss Alice Faulkner?
That is all in the past. The future is all that matters now. Your future nephew and our country. Do not forget your duty.
Yes, Aunt, but she is gone after all, and you cannot complain that I will not fulfill my duty. Mr. Holmes, I loved her deeply, and I would have married her. It seems we are a bit too much like Romeo and Juliet. Star-crossed lovers, never meant to be together.
Nonsense. You are too young to know your own mind, and foolish enough to write about your infatuation.
Did she know of your true affection?
Yes, sir.
You say that you loved her, that you would have married her. Hardly the motives for self-destruction.
I never have been able to understand why she did it.
Curious. She had everything to live for.
What matters now are those letters. In the wrong hands, they could be lethal.
I do not believe we were followed.
It is of no matter. Mr. Holmes reports minimal progress.
Lady Edwina, I assure you, Holmes knows what he's about.
Forgive me if I do not share your enthusiasm. The stakes are too high for anything but positive results. I believe I shall return to the insurance firm and register a complaint. Mr. Holmes, I trust we will have more than minimal progress in the near future.
Please forgive my aunt, Mr. Holmes. She's been under a terrible strain, and I cannot bring myself to reprimand her.
I understand.
I'll be down shortly, Your Highness. I would like a word with Mr. Holmes. That Lady Edwina is a cold one.
Her motives are clear. She only wants to protect the family honor.
I don't exactly consider being the prince's bodyguard police work.
Well, I would consider it an honor.
I've got him to wear that and that heist at the Tower of London. I do hope you'll give me a hand with that one.
An audacious crime, robbery at the Tower of London.
Now that would make an excellent story title. Sherlock Holmes and the strawberry at the Tower of London. Where's my notebook?
That may be a story for your pen, Dr. Watson, but that would be my job.
Once this affair with the prince is over, the tower will have my complete attention.
I'm obliged. Count on Lestrade!
Count on Lestrade? The man's a dolt. He couldn't find himself in the lost and found department.
That prince is a rather unique client.
You consider the prince a mere client? Have you no compassion?
A client to me is a mere unit, a factor in a problem. Emotional qualities are antagonistic to clear reasoning.
The more and more I know you, the more you sound like a calculating machine.
The plot thickens.
What? Smells like kidney pie. Some Mrs. Hudson's good old English cooking.
Hardly. It's jasmine. Essence of jasmine. Perfume. Won't you come in, Miss Faulkner?
Bless me.
No need to hide in the shadows. I'm sure Lestrade did not see you.
How did you know it was me?
There are 75 perfumes in which it is absolutely necessary a criminal expert should be able to distinguish from one another. At the Larrabees, you radiated the scent of jasmine.
Now that is a remarkable deduction.
Elementary.
Sherlock, where are your manners? Sit down, my dear. It's so nice to see you again.
Thank you. Mr. Holmes, I have come to speak with you privately.
Oh. Well, if you wish to be alone.
No need, old fellow. I would like your opinion on the matter. You may speak openly in front of Watson.
As you wish. I have come to correct a false impression. I told you my prime motive was a desire for money. I do not want money.
You seek justice for your sister?
Justice? There is no justice. I seek revenge.
Revenge tastes sweet, but it gives one indigestion.
I just want the truth to be known. I seek nothing for myself.
Why didn't you confront the prince outside the house?
That wouldn't prove anything. I want the world to know of his disgrace, his cruelty.
Cruelty? I thought the prince was a rather charming young man.
Watson, please.
Sorry.
Is that all you wanted to tell me?
Why didn't you take the letters when you had the opportunity?
Because I am a detective second and a gentleman first.
I see. I'll take no more of your time.
Oh, you don't have to go. I can have Mrs. Hudson make some of her famous cucumber sandwiches.
Thank you, Dr. Watson, but I've already imposed.
You are still at the Larrabees?
I've made arrangements to move to a hotel. It's modest but fashionable.
Wise.
Good day, Sherlock Holmes.
Miss Faulkner.
What a lovely creature.
My method seldom fails. She's taken the bait.
The bait?
Miss Faulkner will never turn her letters over to me until I have her complete trust. I am winning that trust.
I found Miss Faulkner rather charming. Disturbed, of course, but charming.
Watson, I assure you, the most winning woman I ever knew was hung for poisoning her 3 children for their insurance money.
I'm guessing that means you don't like Miss Faulkner?
To like a woman is the first step in loving a woman. Love is an emotional aspect.
Yes, I would very much hope so.
Whatever is emotional is opposed to that true, cold reasoning which I place above all things. Careful!
Easy, Watson. She's with me. Teresa, may I introduce Dr. John Watson?
But
There's no need.
I mean, Dr. Watson accompanied Mr. Holmes to Larrabee's house. We've already met.
Foreman? What in the world are you doing coming in from that way?
It was my idea. I knew Baker Street was being watched, and if we came in the front door, we could have jeopardized the entire operation.
But what are the two of you coming in, together?
I knew it was risky, but as of right now, the Larrabees do not trust Teresa. Ever since she remarked that she didn't like the way the sisters treated poor Miss Faulkner, the Larrabee sisters have looked upon Teresa unfavorably. I was concerned something unfortunate might occur while I was away on my errand.
Foreman is so brave. Being your undercover man is no picnic, Mr. Holmes. Oh, but if I could just catch my breath. Foreman, if the police saw us climbing through the window, they could have thought we were criminals. All this intrigue is exciting, but it does make me nervous.
What is the purpose of this errand, Foreman?
It is regarding Miss Faulkner and her letters, sir.
They've got to making a bundle of forgeries, Mr. Holmes, and I've seen them. They're just like the real ones.
Let me see if I can differentiate your pronouns. You mean the Larrabee sisters are blackmailing Foreman into making copies of Miss Faulkner's letters?
Yes, sir. That's the gist of it.
Oh, the letters are so romantic. Prince Carl must have loved Lillian very much. I even took time to memorize my favorite one. My dearest Lillian.
Every day we are apart, my heart is torn asunder a bit more. The days are endlessly dreary without you. The distance obscures your image, as rain clouds obscure the sun.
All right, Teresa, that is enough. I take it you understand from Foreman the seriousness of this business.
I did enlist her aid, sir.
And I'm your ally, Mr. Holmes.
Good show.
But poor Miss Faulkner, they told me she was demented. Oh, I'm quitting at once.
No. You mustn't do that.
No?
No. I wish Miss Faulkner to know that I propose to buy the false letters.
If you say so.
Tell Miss Faulkner that you overheard Foreman discussing it with the Larrabees, but do not let Miss Faulkner know that I know they are false.
But why?
If you are to work with me in the future, I will demand your complete fidelity to my orders.
In other words, my dear, Mr. Holmes doesn't want you asking any questions.
You do wish to help Miss Faulkner?
Yes, of course.
Foreman is right, the house is being watched.
I find detective work exciting, Mr. Holmes.
I was afraid of that. Off you go.
Wait there in the bedroom a moment, Teresa. I wish to make sure no prying eyes are watching us. Be careful, Mr. Holmes. There's more going on here than meets the eye. The Larrabee sisters had a secret meeting with someone. That's all I know.
Sherlock, this apartment gets more traffic than Victoria Station.
The game's afoot.
What?
Do come in, Mrs. Hudson.
The strangest thing. A match girl, one I've never seen before, brought me news from my sister, the one with all the headaches.
The match girl?
No, my sister. I'll have to go to her, and there is no telling when I will be back.
Watson and I can manage.
I doubt that. What will you eat? Really, Sherlock, you must take better care of yourself. You do very little of that, and yet you have Dr. Watson who could look out for you. But, Dr. Watson, you're not a great example of taking care of oneself either. You work too hard, both of you.
Mrs. Hudson?
Mrs. Hudson, may I offer my assistance to your sister?
Oh, that won't be necessary. She has issues with her nerves more than anything. They seem to be all aflutter over the slightest irregularity in her day. I'll brew her some tea, and that should help. But as I was saying...
Mrs. Hudson.
Well, if you can manage on your own, then I will go. There's some cold liver in the icebox in case you get hungry. And remember, no more target practice, please.
Wait, did she say cold liver? I could have sworn it was kidney pie.
Watson, I am expecting a visitor, although she will not enter the house until she is absolutely certain I am alone. Go, follow Mrs. Hudson, then double back, but do not enter unless you hear me cry out or a gunshot disturbs the calm.
Wait, a gunshot? What do you...
Go!
I'm supposed to be your sidekick, and yet you don't tell me what's going on. You never tell me anything, saying things that don't make any sense. The game's afoot. What does that even mean?
Won't you come in, Professor? I find the violin relaxes me. Hand me my violin so that I can forget for half an hour the miserable weather and still more miserable ways of our fellow men.
I find the same solace in higher mathematics. You're saving it for a client?
Please be seated.
You are not surprised to see me?
Hardly. Your suffragettes have been gathering in the byways of Baker Street for the last hour.
You know about them, I see. Of course, I would expect nothing less from the great Sherlock Holmes.
You flatter me.
I have never underestimated you, Holmes. We are both connoisseurs. You and I have been fencing for years. Our pond grows smaller and smaller. We grow together like a couple of greedy old pike. Either I finish you, or you finish me, or we choke on each other. Either way, one of us must go.
I take it you have a proposal.
Join with me, Holmes, in an alliance.
An unholy one.
I may yet tempt you.
Loot from robberies, stock manipulations, jewels from the Tower of London. You disappoint me, Professor.
Holmes, you and I both know what is most desired. Power. Soon I will have enough power to create the greatest crime of all time. World war. Nations will grovel at my feet. Millions will be made, millions with which to buy more power. Kings, presidents, emperors will fall. What a glorious spectacle, Holmes, the world in flames.
I will never let this happen.
If you do not agree to join with me, then give me your assurance that you will never hinder my plans again.
If I give you no such assurance...
Destruction.
If I were assured of your destruction, I, in the interests of the public, would cheerfully accept my own.
I shall miss you, Holmes.
Oh, I'm afraid I'm going to have to deprive you of that pleasure. Lestrade's men are already rounding up as many of your gang as he can in the street.
He'll come here next.
Oh, no. I do not know how you're going to put your grand illusion into effect, but you must be able to roam freely so that I may hound you and discover your plot.
You've seen fit not only to reject my proposal, but to do so with irritating smugness. You've made insulting references. I cannot allow this to pass. You win the first round, young Sherlock Holmes, but the second will fall to me. I have my methods. You have been warned.
I will not rest, Professor, until you are behind bars and your plans ruined. You have been warned.
Royal wedding for British Bohemian, Russian royalty grows near!
Understood the bill of armor along Australian border.
Why doesn't she get here?
Never you mind about Mrs. Bassick. She knows what she's about.
I hope the bobbies didn't catch her outside the British Museum. Lordy, what a time that was.
All them fancy ladies and gentlemen been watching our suffragette right, never the while realising they was getting their pockets picked and their dues lifted.
Did you hear we made bankrupt half the insurance firms in London?
Half? All?
Ginger, did you hear we may really be moving closer to giving women the vote? If that happens, what kind of gig will we have?
Yeah, but Moriarty assured her women would not get the vote. She's ties all over, knows people, gets things done. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it still would be nice to have a voice in the government, right?
Peppa, what are you thinking? You really think a girl like you cares about what's going on in politics?
Huh. I guess I never thought of that.
Bet you didn't know Queen All High and Mighty Victoria is against women's right to vote.
Really? No way!
Of course, why would she care? She's power enough.
Wouldn't you like to lift off some of her jewelry?
Both here. Good.
You look all done in.
It's the professor. She's in a strange way.
How so?
Very preoccupied, my dear, very preoccupied.
What's the game tonight?
Well, I can't say for sure, but if we're using this old warehouse again, so close to the Plumstead marshes, my guess is we're to play a little game of murder.
If the professor don't stop dropping people in the water, she's gonna clog the sewers.
Someone's coming.
Professor Moriarty, are you in?
No one in here but us suffragette mice, Mr. Prince.
Scared me half to death, you did, Bassick.
Sit down.
Thank you.
Weren't seen, were you?
No. Mind if I light my pipe?
No!
What now?
You might drop the match on the floor.
What of it?
We're over gas lines. They're old.
They leak.
Now that you mention it, I can smell the gas.
Dangerous stuff.
Deadly.
You might say we're in a gas chamber, so no matches.
Amen to that.
Who's that?
Should be Gas House Gertie.
It's can't mistake that one.
Greetings, one and all.
Did you bring it?
Of course I did. One of me finest, too.
Well, let's see it then.
What's that wicked looking thing?
It's a time bomb, dear. Ain't it lovely?
Ain't the sort of thing I'd want to find in my Christmas stocking.
Eh?
Ain't the sort of thing I'd want to find in my Christmas stocking, you know what I mean?
Oh, Sid, why not? Brings in a good price, and with all the work you do, could come in handy. Gertie, what's the professor gonna do with that? Well...
Ooh, Gertie, could you teach me how to put it together? What do you use? What kind of...
Oh, hush, child. I just use what I find lying around. Raindrops on roses, whiskers on kittens, the crowbar from down the lane, the blood, sweat, and tears of my enemies. Gertie, what's the professor going to do with it?
Who's it for?
All in good time.
Blimey, Professor, was you there that one time?
I shall be brief.
It's me finest piece of work, Professor.
I hope so, Gas House Gertie, or... This trapdoor beneath my shoe drops to the slimy marsh.
You can trust me, workman, said Professor. I stand by me proper.
Trust. That is no word to use with Moriarty. What is the timing on it?
5 minutes leeway, what's it say?
If that goes off in here, it'd be like a tidal wave hit the marsh.
Precisely. Who's it to be, Professor? Why, the young Sherlock Holmes.
Ooh, he's a big fish, that one.
They won't be able to sup up Holmes with a blotter.
Who's that?
According to my schedule, it will be Miss Maud and Miss Madge Larrabee.
Really, Professor? Having 2 women come out at nearly midnight, and to the marshes of all places.
We had a terrible time finding the place.
Really, ladies, must you live up to the stereotype that women cannot follow directions? Perhaps you'd rather leave and break our deal. You know I have no stomach for complainers.
No. So sorry to appear defensive. We were just talking out loud.
Yes, don't mind us.
Leave us. Stand ready for when you're needed. This way. Now, ladies, you sent the letter to Holmes as ordered.
We did.
We told him to meet us here at midnight.
Will he come?
Holmes must produce those letters for his client or suffer irreparable damage to his reputation. He does have one fault that will trip him up.
What's that?
Vanity. Now, ladies, when you have your money, give 3 short whistles.
We'll have to take turns.
Yes, we can manage 1, but 3...
Here. Oh, use this.
Thank you, Professor.
Not now, you imbecile, when you're finished with Holmes.
Well, we beg your pardon.
Mrs. Bassick will know what to do. Sid!
Yes, Professor?
Now, Sid, you'll stand guard in the alley. When young Holmes nears, signal with a bird call.
A bird call?
Coo, coo, coo.
Coo, coo, coo. I'm your man, Professor.
Good luck, Larrabees.
What if Holmes tries something?
What if he brings the police?
Creepy old warehouse turns my blood to ice water.
I know what you mean. Makes me sorry we ever got mixed up in all this.
Well, it's all your fault. You wanted the money.
My fault? How can you even say it's my fault? It was your idea in the first place to kidnap Alice and make her seem crazy.
I don't know what you're talking about. Perhaps you're the one who's crazy.
Look at us.
What was that? Holmes. Holmes! You?
What is this place? Smells of a gas leak. You really are a delicate thing, aren't you, Alice?
At the moment, this is our place of business. We have a meeting and a transaction to complete.
How did you get here?
It wasn't hard. I followed you in a cab.
What are you going to do? Inform the police?
I know what you're up to if that concerns you. You're going to sell counterfeit letters to Mr. Holmes. Or try to.
You're going to warn him, eh?
I will not let him be swindled and deceived.
How do you plan to stop us?
I could buy you off.
Why should you be so protective of Sherlock Holmes?
That is my affair.
An affair of the heart, maybe? You've placed yourself in danger coming here. How much would you give?
The real letters.
Have you got them with you?
No, but I can get them.
You think he's your friend, don't you?
He's not.
Otherwise, he wouldn't be coming here to buy the letters.
Fake letters.
He doesn't know that.
Before he'd buy any letters, he'd ask my permission first.
Oh, he won't get the chance.
What's that for?
You'll see.
What kind of villainy is this?
Tie her up. And please gag her.
Please, no, I'll tell you where the real letters are.
Don't
Struggle,
trust her.
dearie. It'll make me irritated.
Just promise not to go on with this. Please, have you no shame?
Can't afford it.
Make sure she can't cry out.
We know our business, Miss Larrabee.
Finished?
Neat and tidy.
Nice scheme or falling to pieces.
That girl always interfering with our plans.
Well, if you had listened to me in the first place, has to be Holmes.
I wonder why the criminal element so favors the Plumstead marshes.
The West India docks are too public.
Water rats favor these marshes. Perhaps that's the connection.
Never shy with the insult, are we, Mr. Holmes?
Not where rogues are concerned.
Got our message, I see.
Obviously.
We picked this place because it's neutral territory.
Ha! Rubbish. This is one of Moriarty's caves. I've been here dealing with riffraff.
Moriarty? Never heard of them.
As a liar, you rank amateur.
We tell you we never heard of Moriarty.
I am here to discuss letters.
They're sitting on the table, Mr. Holmes. For a detective, you're not very observant.
Has Miss Faulkner consented to the sale?
Of course.
On the contrary, I believe that she has no idea of it, so let us omit her name from the discussion.
What makes you think she's in the dark?
Your every look, tone, and gesture.
You think you can read us like a book?
A children's book. Get on with it.
How much will you give?
£1,000.
5!
I have the sum here with me.
We won't take less than 5, I tell you.
My time is limited, as yours is. If you wish to pay this sum, please inform me at once. Otherwise, I bid you a good evening.
Will you give us 2?
1.
Well, why quibble? £1,000 it is.
My letters.
Paid for and delivered.
Now I've got you. You'll get 10 years for robbery, and so will you.
Robbery?
These letters.
You don't even have a witness.
Miss Faulkner herself. Intermingled with the odor of escaping gas is the unmistakable scent of jasmine. I saw her walk in here, and her hat is right there. Where have you hidden her?
Pay no mind, it's the water rats.
When you two are behind bars, the professor will have lost 2 more incompetent crooks.
Think so?
A whistle. Bit theatrical, isn't it?
Now who's got the upper hand?
I warn you. I learned the uncommon fighting skills in the Orient. My hands and feet are deadly.
Otto, we've got him pinned down.
We'll play it safe. Bring out the girl.
Give us any trouble, Mr. Holmes, and the girl goes first.
They can't be trusted, Mr. Holmes.
Can't be trusted, Mr. Holmes.
I recognize the lot. Sid Prince, Mrs. Bassick and her gang of counterfeit suffragettes, and the destructive gashouse Gertie.
What are you waiting for? Tie him up.
It is not hard to imagine who's at the bottom of this.
He knows about the professor.
No matter. The professor's a lady. She gave me a message for you.
Indeed.
She presented her kindest compliments and wishes you both a pleasant journey.
Johnny, what is she talking about?
A pleasant journey to the other side.
She had me whip up a little bon voyage, bon voyage gift. Ain't it pretty?
It's a bomb!
I sure hope it is. It's what it's supposed to be.
5 minutes.
get out of here.
Glad to see the last of you, Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
You're sure the rope is tight?
They can't twist the hands out of those knots.
We're doomed.
Courage, Miss Faulkner, courage.
You guys can hang around and chit-chat, but I'm traveling.
I'm Sid.
The great detective blown to bits in the Plumstead marshes.
Who is this professor they speak of?
The most evil woman in London. I suspect she wants the marriage to take place. That is why she has taken an interest in your letters.
I don't understand. 3 minutes.
If the marriage takes place, the professor may produce the letters and prove that Prince Karl married under a cloud, that he employed deception.
Go on.
The affront to the Russian royal family will demand satisfaction.
Satisfaction?
War.
War? 2.5 minutes.
The professor would be in an unbelievable position of power, since she controls the munitions cartel. That is the plan. Count on it.
Fascinating.
Miss Faulkner, your sister met her demise not as you believe, but at the hands of a hired assassin.
Can I believe that?
I know Moriarty's methods.
Although we will soon be going out together, I can't help but feel that I hardly know you. You are here doomed because of me. I cannot help but feel responsible.
These things happen.
If only you hadn't taken the case.
When Moriarty is involved, matters demand my presence.
And this is goodbye.
Oh, nonsense. I will have my hands free of these bonds and survive.
How?
In Tibet, I studied the thought concentration of the holy monks. They had the incredible power of shrinking their hands through intense meditation.
Meditation? You haven't time. We made it.
What in the world is Sherlock thinking? Going in there, a warehouse full of notorious criminals, and a bomb all by himself.
Keep calm, Watson. I'm sure he has everything under control. He's a very capable man.
Oh, capable? He's capable? Capable of blowing himself up, maybe?
Really, Watson, you should have more faith. After all the years you've worked with him.
After all these years, maybe I'll write my last book. The story of how Sherlock Holmes blows himself up! What in the world?
You see? I told you. Everything perfectly under control.
Listen, you two. Sherlock Holmes is a modern-day hero. Think of what he's done for the 3 of us. Now, in his hour of need, we cannot abandon him. Twice did we march in there and save Holmes.
What in the world is he thinking going in there? Such an idiot! Stop! Stop! I'm tired of living in the shadow of a man who doesn't even have a PhD. I have 7. When is it my turn?
Please do hurry, Mr. Holmes. Please, there's not very much time left. 90 seconds! Oh, it's too late.
Never.
Oh, thank heavens.
It's all in the breathing. Proper breathing is a great boon to mankind.
That's so intriguing.
It's a pity so few men and women know how to properly breathe. That and concentration, of course.
I will have to try it sometime, but not now.
You are a brave young woman, Miss Faulkner.
At the moment, I'm a frightened young woman. Hurry, we must escape.
After you.
There are only seconds left.
Couldn't make up your minds, could you? 41 seconds to be precise.
Lance Strawn here! No!
Are you going to Scarborough Fair? Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Remember me to one who lives there.
British Stock Rising!
Russia and Austria signed Long Peace Pact. Read all about it, read all about it.
Royal Wedding Reveal! Queen Victoria gives a blessing!
Every news, every news!
Now remember, your name is Caroline Gibbs.
Caroline
Gibbs. Every time.
No,
we
you did
rehearse-
not get to
every
mention
time
it.
we
It was
rehearse
your
this,
fault
you've made a
last
mistake.
time.
You're going
No,
to get a
I
second
got
credit.
it. I got it.
I have your prescription, Miss.
Lillian, sir. Miss Lillian Gibbs.
And you are?
Miss Caroline Gibbs, Doctor.
Thank you so much for your time. Although we are sad to hear that Mr. Holmes isn't in.
Yes, a lot of my patients come in here hoping to see him.
Oh, just a glimpse is all we wanted.
Yes, we wouldn't dream of intruding on his privacy. You're sure he's not here?
My dears, as I have said, Mr. Holmes is not in, and I am not in the habit of lying.
We did not mean to appear rude.
Our sincerest apologies.
There's a Miss Baskerville, Dr. Watson.
Baskerville.
This way.
Baskerville.
We won't take any more of your time.
Strange woman, that Mrs. Gibbs. Not a thing the matter with her. Tell me, what's the trouble?
Oh, please, sir, I'm desperate for help. You must tell me when Sherlock Holmes will return.
I do not know. Is there anything I can help you with?
My uncle was recently killed by a gigantic ghost hound.
A what?
Ghost hound, did you say? On the moors outside the manor house. The villagers say it's a family curse. The hound of the Baskervilles. Good gracious! It doesn't sound like a proper English ghost at all. My brother is next in line for the inheritance, and I know he will be killed. I'm so frightened.
Oh, Bella.
Come with me, child. A nice cup of hot tea by my fire will do you wonders.
That is an excellent idea, Mrs. Hudson. And after you've had your tea, perhaps Mr. Holmes will have returned. Poor girl. A gigantic ghost hound. What could be next? Sherlock, what in the world?
We're alone.
Of course we're alone. What are you doing coming in from that way?
I wanted to make certain Moriarty saw me.
But then why didn't you come in the front door?
There must be a certain mystery regarding my return to Baker Street. Remember, she means to kill me.
Wait, in here? Sherlock, I live here too. How will my patients trust me as a doctor when I'm treating them in a room covered in your blood?
She missed her chance in the Plumstead marshes last night, remember?
Well, yes, that was a very narrow escape for you.
You did not believe that I would get out. Any unusual visitors this morning?
There was some girl complaining about a dog.
Dog?
Yes, and, a Miss Lillian Gibbs with her sister Caroline Gibbs, who look exactly like Madge and Maud Larrabee.
Excellent. Undoubtedly here to see if I was lurking about. The knot draws tighter. Mrs. Hudson!
What about this letter business?
I have informed the Prince and Lady Edwina to meet me here within the hour.
Even with Moriarty on the prowl?
What better time?
Sherlock, I did not hear you come in.
That is what you may expect to hear when I do not wish to be heard.
Pardon?
Be so kind as to fetch the cabbie on the corner.
Cabs don't wait at the corner. They don't get enough business. You know that.
I do believe you will find one there this morning. Inform the cabbie that you have a tenant that wishes to go to 106 Harley Lane and then to Victoria Station.
But who's going out?
I am.
But you just came in.
Mrs. Hudson, please.
Oh, right away.
Wait, 106 Harley Lane? That's the address of the insurance company that hired you.
Correct.
So, you're going there when everyone else is coming here?
Correct again.
door? That might be those medical supplies I ordered. Give me a moment. Help!
What on earth?
Help me!
Wait! This might do.
Over here, over here. Where are we putting this?
The middle.
What?
Right here, right here.
Okay, on three. 1, 2, 3. We're leaving it here?
Curious.
What?
That she's here so soon.
Who?
Wait, those aren't the footsteps. Jasmine!
Jasmine?
Pray forgive me for coming here against your instructions.
You are a woman of strong will, Miss Faulkner.
You wouldn't allow me to thank you last evening.
I expect no thanks, though you do know that I have an important business meeting here this morning.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Shh.
What is it?
Quick, Miss Faulkner, play patient. Keep your back to the visitor. Watson, I rely on you.
Come, my dear.
Ah, there you are, my good man. I wish to go to 106 Harley Lane and then to Victoria Station. You might have a bit of trouble with that one.
I can manage.
So, my dear, tell me about these dizzy spells.
Oh, they give me no relief.
Oh, and what are your other symptoms?
Bent elbows and curved fingers. And...
My, that's serious!
Isn't it?
Do you need any help?
Might be nice.
I might unload some of the contents. No, I do not want anything to break in transit.
I know my job. What? Stop! What are you doing? Stop! What's this? Get off me!
Mr. Holmes, why have you put handcuffs on the cabbie?
Cabbie? No, this is no cabbie. Miss Faulkner, I give you the author of all the evil that has transpired, Professor Moriarty.
I don't believe it.
No, my dear.
Now is the time, Lestrade.
Hi, Mr. Holmes.
I'm sorry that you did not have the opportunity to finish me off.
That makes two of us.
I doubt if I would ever have reached Victoria Station.
So did I.
Went like clockwork, ain't it, Holmes?
Here's your culprit, Lestrade. Professor, allow me to introduce Foreman, the Larrabee's butler. He is an undercover agent of mine.
London will sleep safely tonight, thanks to you, Mr. Holmes.
May she always do. You have apprehended Madge Larrabee?
Yes, and sister too.
Excellent. I will not only have the pleasure of testifying against your men, but against you as well. Take her away, Lestrade.
I curse you, Holmes!
And I, Professor, return the compliment.
What will they do with her?
The gallows, I trust. You received my message. Excellent.
Who were those men?
2 of them were reasonably respectable citizens, the other, a minor criminal.
A minor criminal? That was Professor Moriarty herself.
We have more serious matters to discuss.
Won't you sit down?
Yes, because so many things are more serious than Professor Moriarty.
I prefer to stand.
Can we just get on with it?
Indeed.
Do you or do you not have the letters?
I have them, at the cost of £1,000.
And just what are you up to, Mr. Holmes?
What is it, Carl?
These are not the real letters.
What?
They're forgeries. Cleverly done, but forgeries nonetheless.
Carl, are you certain?
Yes, quite. Mr. Holmes, in spite of your supposed cleverness, they have tricked you.
You have disappointed Queen Victoria. Oh, where am I spelling these ones?
I'm ruined. Ruined!
Wait, but this does not mean we cannot still recover the real letters.
I'm afraid it does.
Oh, the prince put such trust in you.
The insurance people told me I could count on you, Mr. Holmes.
Do you have any idea what this will do to international affairs?
This will be a slap in the face of your reputation.
I'm ruined!
You're not ruined.
Your Highness, I notified you by messenger that you would have the real letters in your hands within the hour.
Well, well.
Carl, are they genuine?
Yes, quite. Mr. Holmes, your reputation is secure.
But what of the other letters? The forgeries?
Yes, well, Holmes' methods are unorthodox, to say the least.
Well, if you say so, Dr. Watson, though I still don't really understand.
What matters is that we have the real letters.
True.
Lydia Dwinner, I hope you can understand the amount of strain Mr. Holmes has been under lately.
Naturally. I shall return to the insurance firm and inform them of our complete satisfaction.
You are too kind.
You have been invaluable, Mr. Holmes.
Come, I will show you the way out.
You knew the letters that the Larrabee sold you were counterfeits.
Yes,
You knew I would come here.
I hoped you would.
You knew I could not allow you to be disgraced.
I am an excellent trickster, Miss Faulkner. Before you go on, I detect a hint of romance in your voice.
Your powers of observation are remarkable.
If ever I had a time for love, if ever my heart could reach out to another.
Don't stop.
Alice,
Sherlock. Oh, Mr. Holmes, do forgive me.
you are
Maggie Baskerville. My brother is Sir Henry Baskerville?
niece and nephew of the murdered Sir Charles Baskerville?
Yes.
I know the case.
Only this morning my brother received a letter warning that he would die at the fangs of a gigantic ghost hound.
Oh, not more letters.
Downstairs, Miss Baskerville, not a moment to lose.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Holmes. Thank you.
Goodbye, Miss Faulkner. Think of me as one of the stately homes of England. Fascinating to visit, but impossible to live with. Shall we go, Watson? The game's afoot.
I shall never forget you, Sherlock Holmes.
Sam. I would like to thank you all for coming to our production. I hope you all enjoyed yourselves. This has been a really, really great year, and I just want to pass some thanks along. I want to thank the tech crew for all their amazingly hard work. done it without them. We also want to thank our stage managers for all the work they did backstage and helping us. As always, there are two very special people that, of course, we have to thank. From picking the play, to helping direct the play, to helping with costumes, to helping make sure we memorized our lines, to helping with really every little thing that we could possibly need. I would like to thank our directors, Mrs. Calhoun and Mrs. Benson.